Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I am bringing you my set 2 list for Starterku. Before I go into the deck profile, I just wanted to go over the notice that was released, I think either yesterday or the day before, just around the login campaign for the release of set 2. So I just wanted to, before we go into any deck profiles, just to make people aware, it's not exactly a lot, I'm going to be honest. I'm a bit disappointed by the full amount. Hopefully, obviously, once you start getting into these realms, you start to see a bit more, but honestly, this isn't exactly a lot. I mean, I think it's something like 200 gems, which is 2 packs, right? It's not a lot, but for anybody who is playing free-to-play, 2 packs can obviously be a big difference. It can be a big help. So, oh yeah, it does actually say up the top here, it's up to 200 gems. Plus, obviously, this is not inclusive of your daily anyway, so you still get your 10 gem login bonus per day, so it's definitely worth picking up just for those extra free couple of packs. I currently don't have a lot of time to play the digital client at the moment, which is kind of why I'm just going through the I'm just going through these deck profiles. They're a lot quicker to record, and honestly they don't take as much effort. I'm kind of finding set 1 a bit stale now, so I'm trying to sort of stay away from playing the game as much as possible. I am going to a tournament in Birmingham at the beginning of June, so the only sort of playing I'm doing is just at my locals. It's just a physical card game, just trying to get in a bit of practice. But because set 2 will be legal, there's not really a whole lot of set 2. There's not a lot of training I can kind of do at the minute, or practice, or whatever you want to call it at the meantime. But we are looking to definitely come back. I was a bit disappointed. I honestly thought set 2 was coming out today. I didn't really, or I say today, by the time this was recorded, it'll be a couple of days ago. From the release of set 2. I'm a bit disappointed that they're holding that back for a couple of weeks again. It's not exactly ideal, because I was hoping to use the digital client as practice anyway, because I may be taking androids. It just depends on how it plays into a few matchups, one in particular being Topku. I think that Topku's aggressive nature just makes that deck almost unplayable. I think it's very difficult to break that deck down. I think that the androids deck and just ramp decks in general will find that they're too slow. I think Broly kind of has the advantage of being a 25k leader, so it's a little bit easier to defend. But for androids, I'm still not sure, so I kind of wanted to get some games in with the androids on the client before that tournament. Now meaning that I only have about a week to prepare rather than having 3 weeks to prepare, which isn't great. But I just want to make everybody aware of this. This is something that, again, is just worth logging into just for this. If you're still playing consistently, this on top of your daily missions and stuff like that, you're still going to get quite a lot of gems in time for the set release. So, I mean, you might even be able to get a free 10 pack just off of completing your dailies and the login bonuses. So it might actually be worth your time. But I'm going to switch over to this client now. So this is Deck Planet. This is where I've built the Starterku list. Again, this is a very version 1 list. There will be things that are missing here that people will disagree with, or inclusions people disagree with, but honestly this is just my take it as you will. Obviously if you do have questions about the list itself, feel free to hit me up in the comments. We can always have a conversation about it. So I'm just going to go through it just very quickly. Hopefully we'll try and make this video about 10-12 minutes long by the time we get through it. To run 4 basils as our first 1 drop, this is just a top 5 for any non-Basel 4 or less tournament of power, and then you bottom deck the rest. We run a lot of those, so it was definitely worth including. 4 of the Self-Awakened Roshi's. It's still the best Self-Awakener in the game, and as everybody knows, Starterku wants to be awakened as quickly as possible, so definitely the best inclusion. Piccolo, we only run 3. We run Piccolo over Roshi because it's tournament of power, meaning that unfortunately, if we whiff off the Basil, this is just an additional target. So, if we had the Roshi from the starter deck, it's not Tournament of Power, meaning we can't grab it. It's just an additional target, plus it's a cantrip, right? It's a not bad turn 1 play, sorry. So, that's the reason for that. We still run 4 hits. One of the best Self-Awakeners in the game. Clears cantrips, additional 20 damage. Self-Awakener, it's very, very good. Apologies, I'm just going to take a drink. And then we run 4 Krillin. So this one I'm still not sure about. I still think it's one of the best Self-Awakeners, especially for Starterku. We kind of want to realistically only play our Self-Awakened targets on our 2 energy curve. Obviously we do have access to the Goku and the Gohan for the turn 3, but I would much rather have that Awaken available as soon as possible, just so that we can defend our board. Unfortunately, Krillin being a 15k on our opponent's turn kind of sucks, but at least it's something, I guess. It's something that we can at least look to protect if we need to. Plus the 10k combo. Can never go wrong with that. Then we run 3 Roses. I was never really too sure about how I felt this card when it was first revealed, but in Starterku I love this, mainly because if our opponent even just has 1 battle card, we're not losing anything from playing this card on the attacking front. Defensively though, it is a bit more difficult to defend, but if our opponent has 2 battle cards, we now have a 25k or a 30k, or 30k, sorry, if we do our leader buff. I do like Rose in this list. It's good for board control as well. You know, once we sort of establish our board, you know, we can even just use Rose as just a way to. I know that you kind of weaken yourself by attacking into the battle cards, but honestly, it's just another battle card way that we can do that. Plus, she's a 10k combo. It's not the worst. 4 of the promo Gokus. This is still for me the best card in this leader. There are obviously a lot of big buffs in set 2, but this card in set 1 was the MVP for sure. A 25k with your leader, 30k on the buff, right? It's a really, really strong card. The only downside is it's a 5k combo, but of course they had to try and balance the card somehow, so again, it's still a 4 of for me personally. I still love this card. And then we run 3 of the Android 17s. Again, Starterku is a U7 leader, so we do get the benefit of having a 25k leader offensively and defensively. And then obviously if our leader is awakened, this card can't be KO'd by skills either, which is very strong. I love Android 17, I think it's really, really good. I think it's going to be a testing situation because on our turn 3, if we decide to play Android 17 just as a hard cast, that would be a terrible idea. I think giving up our turn just to establish this, it reminds me of when I used to build this leader with Tournament of Power. Tournament of Power was something very similar where you essentially gave up your turn to establish Tournament of Power unless you were able to lower its cost off of this Roche. It never felt strong and it always felt like you were playing on the back foot once you did that. So, I don't know, this might only be playable off of Kefla, but we'll see. And then I run 3 Gohan Adolescents. I, disclaimer, do not run any of the Gokus. Goku for me is a strange one. Again, it's gonna be something that we're gonna have to do a lot of testing with. Goku wasn't really particularly strong into green besides the fact that it was 25k. This is also 25k. A bit defensively though, it is a bit weaker, but of course that's fine. It is 5k combo power, which for me in red is what I value more. But its ability to minus 15. Arguably, it's while we're not killing something, there is just a lot of KO protection this set. I might be overvaluing the KO protection, but I still think that running the minus is better, even if we just attack into the board rather than giving our opponent resources. It's still not the worst thing to do, so that's why I've chosen Gohan over the Goku. And then I run 1 of this Kale. I had it 2 when I first built this. I might put this back to 2 and lower something else at 1, which we'll get to in a minute. I love this card as a game finisher. This, with our leader, is a 3 energy 40k beat stick. I think those stats are ridiculous. Obviously, on the opponent's turn it is only a 15k, so it's very easy to remove, but honestly, I think the only time I realistically look to play this is when my opponent's on 1 life and I look to kill them, right? That's realistically the only way that we do this. And I have a couple of ways where we look to try and force our opponent on 1 life, but we'll get to that in a second. 4 Keflas, 10k combo. She plays a TOP from hand, meaning we can play Android 17, we can play this Gohan, there are other targets, we can even play her. There are certainly ways that we can abuse this card, which is why it's still a 4 of. If this had been a 0k or a 5k combo, I don't know how strong I would have felt this card was, but the fact it's a 10k combo, there's literally 0 downside to running this card. She's 25k, she replaces herself, she then plays a battle card for 3 or less, and then our leader can buff her as well. Like, there's so much we can do with this card. I think she's really, really ridiculous in red. 2 Ribriannes. I'm going to apologise to everybody who watched the Topku deck profile. I did not realise this card existed. I missed it. Or I just went through it quickly on my, when I did the release for the set 2 reveals. This card's nuts. In Topku, she is absolutely stupid. She's very, very stupid. 4 energy, 20k double strike, it's a 10k combo. It's incredible stats, right? Topku especially needs this card. But for this leader, it's good. It's again just another way for us to get to a game finisher, but we'll go over the sort of strategies towards the end. Gohan, we run it too. This was my one where I didn't know how I wanted these ratios. Gohan's difference is that he's 45 with our leader skill, but to get to, we run the extra card, the plus 25k extra card, so I don't know how I feel. We might just go with her rather than this. We'll wait and see. Again, it's purely based on the energy cost. The stat lines are the same pretty much. Yes, you get an extra 5k on him, but that one energy for me is quite a heavy investment in red. If I have my opponent somehow down to, like, you know, let's say on our turn 5 we swing, they're on 3 life, they take the double strike or whatever, I would still rather have Kale than Gohan going in for that last attack, mainly because of the energy I would have available after it. So again, I don't know. That's just the way I kind of feel about it. It's a great card, don't get me wrong, I just don't know if Topku's the best place for it. We're on one secret rare. Honestly, this is neither here nor there. You could play this, you could choose not to. The reason I like it is because we can deal damage by attacking battle cards. It's purely the only reason. But it is a 0k combo, which is kind of my only gripe with this secret rare currently in this build. In set 1, it's kind of irrelevant that it's a 0k, but yeah, going into set 2, I don't know how I feel about this, but it's a great way to control our opponent's board while inflicting damage, so 100% I still like it in this leader. If my opponent has a 20k battle card, we put it down to 5 and then we leader buff to 35, meaning they still need 35 or 40k to get out the attack. Those numbers are just ridiculous. So yeah, I still like this card for that. And then we run 2 of the 5-drop double strikers, again mainly down to 1 deck space and 2 the number of 0ks we were running. Between this now we have 6. I had this at 7 with a 3rd copy of this, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. When I'm looking at the game plan and the strategy, I still think Ribrianne with the extra card is the better way to try and double strike our opponent down. This, if we're on 5 energy and our opponent is within double strike range, then absolutely this still might be the best way to do it. It just depends again on the board state, on the hand, on the life. There's a lot to consider, and this also can remove a body from our opponent, so I do like it for that. 4 super combos and then 2 Glimpse of Hidden Arrogance. For those of you that don't know, this is just a plus 25k, and then we add, if we use it on a battle card, or if we have a battle card with 30k power or more, we add a battle card with a cost of 4 or less from a drop to our hand. And the realistic time that we're going to use this is we're going to use it and we're just going to add up a 10k. So this card essentially becomes a plus 35k off of that. So it's one of the reasons why I love this with Ribrianne, and again I apologise for missing it in my Topku profile, but even with Kale, like for 5 energy these numbers are ridiculous. You know, we get to go up to 70k just off of these 2 cards, and obviously whatever we add back. So the numbers can get wild, and obviously with our leader skill we can get to 75. So the idea behind this strategy is just to poke our opponent down enough that we can try and get them either to 2 life or to 1. It really doesn't matter. Again, the strategy doesn't change a whole lot from set 1 in that sense. But if we get them to 1 life, I'm a lot more comfortable that we can kill them. A lot more comfortable. Like, we have so many good just battle cards that are likely going to end our turn, in the sense of we're not going to be able to play much more other than this battle card, but if we can put this behind it, if our opponent's on 1 life, it's so difficult for them to break out of it. This card essentially equalises Broly's power with the Gigantic Meteor. You know, our opponent with 2 Gigantic Meteors can get to 75k. With Kale, we get there just with these 2 and our leader skill. I think it's absolutely crazy. I think that the numbers that we can put up are realistically going to be very strong. I think that we can go very tall. I think that our opponent is going to struggle somewhat to deal with our high attackers. I mean, that's another reason why I like Kale, because even if we just want to poke them down for 1 damage, he is just a 40k with a leader skill. Very, very strong, right? That's the main reason for it. I'm not 100% certain that this is going to be like my finalized list. There's definitely going to be chops and changes and stuff that needs to get sort of cut and moved around. We run a lot of 2-drops and we run a lot of 1-drops. We don't run very many of the 3 costs, and again, cutting Goku did feel rough, but with the KO protection I can't justify it, and it's a 0k combo, meaning that we are just adding to the number of dead cards in the deck when it comes to go for game or even defensively. So I feel like combo power wise this deck feels very good. I just think that maybe the Goku is too good a card for us to drop at this stage. So testing again will allow us that sort of cadence to see what we can change and what we can drop, but realistically, I think that Starterku is still going to be very strong in the next set. I still think that Topku is probably going to be the best red deck in the next format. I think that Topku's capability of going wide and just building ridiculous damage for very cheap energy is going to be very difficult to deal with, and Ribrianne in Topku is absolutely absurd. The Ribrianne with this Glimpse of Hidden Arrogance is wildly powerful. You know, we turn that into a 55k double striker essentially for 3 energy between our leader skill and between this. It's ridiculous numbers. So I still think that Topku is probably going to be the best red deck next set. But Starterku and Beerus are, for me, they're still up there. I think U7 is dead. I don't think U7. I'm probably not going to do a deck profile on U7. There are a lot of good targets for U7. Don't get me wrong, like the TN3 drop with the Kefla, being able to spam out all these one costs. The problem is though is that you're going to build a wide board when it's just going to poke for 20k's constantly, but your hand size is never going to be big because of that. You're going too wide and you're starving yourself. So again, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about U7. The more I've tried to build the leader, I'm not a fan of it. But I would certainly say Topku will be the best red deck, I think. And then I would argue probably Beerus just for its control. The control element on Beerus is so strong. And then probably Starterku after that. I think that the minus cards that we got, you know, like the Gohan Adolescence plays perfect into Beerus. Is the perfect card that Beerus needed, to be honest. So yeah, so I still think honestly that for me the power rating would be Topku, Beerus, Starterku, and then U7 going into this next set. I'm open to discussion. If people think I'm wrong, go ahead, tell me. But personally, just from my experience, I think that that's how that's kind of going to turn out. But yeah, so this is my my Starterku list. Again, feel free to hit me up in the comments if there's any changes or suggestions to the deck that you would add or take away, if there's something I've forgotten about, because I will be honest, with the move, I've had not a lot of time to research these decks as much as I would have liked to before going into the profiles. So yeah, there's obviously stuff I've missed. I mean, the Topku deck profile with the Ribrianne was a big hit. That was a massive mistake on my part. So yeah, I'm gonna bring out a tier list very soon, which is gonna have all of the leaders in it, and I'm gonna do a tier list discussion, which will hopefully only take me 20 minutes. I don't want to go through my tier list previously. Have been like 30 plus minutes. I don't want to do another video like that. I want them to try and be quick and concise. So I'm probably gonna release a tier list. I might actually drop one tomorrow. I might try and record one after this, and then we will drop a tier list video tomorrow, and we'll see if people cause an uproar. Again, my first tier list I think caused a bit of an issue. No, not an issue, but I think there was a lot of disagreements in that. My second tier list I think was a lot better. I think a lot of people agreed with it, and I'm not gonna lie, I have many hot takes on set 2 again, which people are probably gonna get in an uproar about. So I'm looking forward to the the conversations that surround that. So. But guys, I appreciate all your time. Appreciate everybody who's watching these videos. It's been absolutely incredible. There's so many nice comments, people saying that they really enjoy these videos and stuff. So I did this mainly for posterity, just as, you know, me just thinking out loud, so to speak. And it, you know, I'm elated that everybody's enjoying the videos. So we're going to keep the videos coming. I think between now and set 2. I don't know if I could keep the videos coming on a daily basis. There's not a whole lot going on in the space right now. I might try and record some games of me trying to finalise my position to God, but honestly, my drive to play the game right now is just taking such a big hit on the digital client, just because I'm eagerly awaiting set 2, and the announcement of it being delayed by a couple of weeks, that didn't help. In the UK as well, we don't have access to the physical game for another couple of weeks as well, which really sucks. So yeah, it's one of those things, but I'll try and upload as much as I can. I just think that there's maybe going to be a video, maybe 3 videos a week for at least until the set drops, and then when the set drops, we'll probably return to our usual video every day. And yeah, so that's the plan, guys. But thank you very much for watching, and as always, I appreciate you guys. If you haven't, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.